Ella.
We step out of the hospital, and as I spot the black SUV, it takes me back to my time spent here. More specifically, when Roman finally confessed his feelings to me. It was sort of a simpler time back then. Before Vasily, before everything else. "What's on your mind, little bird?" he asks as he takes my hand and draws it to his lips. "You've been quiet, even as I went off at the nurses." I chuckle. "That was just me letting you have your own way after everything that happened," I say, leaning forward and kissing his cheek. Caden's message over the mind link just had me reeling. Roman sighs, because I know he's already so pissed off and now he has to face Diego. Alphanovel is at the pack house with Caden and Elena and has demanded his son answer to Roman. "Yeah, well, I suppose he has to face the music sometime," he says, sitting back and shaking his head. "As much as I just want to fucking sleep, it needs to be done." We remain quiet for the rest of the ride, but as soon as the wheels of the SUV hit cobblestone, my stomach starts to churn. But it's not because of nerves. It's because of Diego. Diego was there when Vasily violated me, and he did nothing even as he looked disgusted at what Vasily was doing. I don't know how Roman will react to this news, and I have a feeling the arrangement between us and the cartel would be null and void. I look up and see Alphanovel pacing the front steps. When we arrive and get out, his eyes meet Roman's for a moment, two alphas measuring each other. Diego is standing beside him with an impenetrable expression, but there was a storm behind his eyes that I couldn't understand. Caden and Elena are there as well, and I can see the torn expression on Elena's face as she looks between Caden and her brother. Roman, Ella, Javier nods at us as we approach. Javier, Roman's voice was no more than a growl, mistrust hanging thick between them. But his fury was not aimed at Javier. "I think it's time we talked." Javier motions toward the living room. Its warm hues and comfortable furniture seemed at odds with the cold tension slicing through the air. The pack house has a heavy atmosphere as we step in, similar to the dark skies outside. Roman's grip on my hand reassures me that we were on solid ground, even if it didn't seem that way. But the tremor I feel from him tells me otherwise. After the wedding fiasco, everyone had questions, and the tension in the room was palpable. We sat down. I am flanked by Roman on one side and Caden on the other, with Elena at his side. Across from us sat Javier, his gaze flickering between his son Diego and Roman. The alpha finally broke his silence. "You all need to know the truth." His voice was low but filled with a barely veiled fury. "And what is that?" Roman questions, his eyes narrowing. Javier looks at Diego and his eyes flash alpha crimson. Diego seems to get the message and turns to face us. I can't read the expression on his face at all. "Vasily didn't just want to disrupt a wedding or kill you, Roman." Diego's eyes meet each of ours, one by one, as if gauging our worthiness of his confession. "He planned to overthrow this pack and every aligned pack in the region. He wanted to create a new order, one that answered only to him. You helped him." Caden's voice cut through the room like a jagged knife. Diego winces, the accusation settling around him like a shroud. "Because he convinced me it was for the greater good," Diego shoots back, his voice filled with desperation. "He spoke of uniting the packs, of breaking old alliances that did more harm than good. But it wasn't unity he sought, it was domination." "What was your role?" I finally speak up, my voice surprisingly steady as I look at Diego, his voice bringing back painful memories. "I heard you outside the door where Vasily kept me. You saw what he did to me." Roman growls loudly, his green eyes shifting to dangerous crimson as he stares at Diego, who looks like he's visibly shitting himself. "I'm going to fucking lose this alliance by killing this asshole," Roman says under his breath, pinching the bridge of his nose and letting out a breath. "Answer the fucking question." Diego looks visibly pale the more Roman's composure slips, and he swallows hard before he continues. "I was to provide intel on the pack dynamics, weaknesses, and defense strategies. I had begun feeding him misinformation once I started to doubt his motives, but by then it was too late." "A little late for doubts," Roman hisses. "People are dead because of those decisions." "I know," Diego's voice broke, "and I will have to live with that for the rest of my life." No one spoke for a while, each of us mulling over the words just spoken. I know Roman, though, he does not trust Diego at all. But it was Roman who was the first to break the silence. Javier, what will you do with him? He is my son, but he will face the council for his actions. What? Diego exclaims, leaping to his feet. Why do I have to face the council when I'm telling the truth? Roman scoffs. Because nepotism isn't a magic wand that can remove criminal behavior, he says, shaking his head. What you did and what you planned to do with Vasily was not only treason but mutiny to your own fucking family and the rest of us. Tell any other alpha what you two had planned and they will want your head. Diego's mouth falls open at Roman's words, and he's about to sputter something else when Roman gets to his feet. Before we go further, Roman says cautiously, leveling his gaze at Javier, you should know we have Esteban. He's currently in our holding cells. Javier's eyes widened for a moment, then hardened. Why? He was stalking Ella. Roman's eyes briefly met mine, under Diego's orders. The room seemed to freeze, all eyes shifting to Diego, who suddenly appeared smaller, more fragile than he had a moment ago. Diego, is this true? Javier's voice was icy, measured. You went after Roman's mate? Diego looks from his father to Roman and then to me, his face ashen. Yes, he finally croaks, but it wasn't simple espionage. Vasily was forcing my hand, he had something on me. On you? Javier almost growls, or on Esteban. On both of us, Diego admits. Vasily had Esteban's sisters as hostages. He'd hurt them if Esteban and I didn't comply. Javier's eyes softened for a fraction of a second before the stern facade returned. So you put Ella, who has already suffered so much, in danger to protect our family? The word family hung heavily in the air. Esteban was a product of Javier's father's affair with one of many mistresses, but family nonetheless. The tangled web of familial obligations and betrayals was choking us all. I thought I was doing it to protect us, Diego's voice wavers, but I realize now how deep Vasily's poison had run. I'm sorry. The apology seemed to hang in the air, unanswered, leaving us all drowning in a complex mix of regret, relief, and rekindled anger. Roman shakes his head and scoffs. That's not what Esteban told us, Diego. He told us you were the one who had his little sisters as hostages, and as of yesterday, I let Esteban go after rescuing those sisters. They're long gone to a safe place under my protection. I didn't think Diego could grow any more pale, but he does. What? No, that can't be. Javier launches at Diego, pummeling his face while barely keeping it together. Elena has a hand over her mouth while watching this, and I see Caden slipping his arms around her shoulders. Then he throws his son to the floor and breathes out a sigh before facing us. Roman, thank you for what you've done for my family, he says, seeking some semblance of control over the situation. Your actions tell me you've forgiven Esteban for what he's done, yes? He was acting under duress, but I see him as another victim in this twisted game, Roman says, getting to his feet. I'll send you the details of where they were the last time they checked in with me. Thank you, Javier sighs. Despite this, I can't fault you for capturing him and doing whatever you had to get information. You were protecting your wife, something I would do, something any alpha would do. Roman nods. If we're going to move forward, if our packs are going to heal, we have to start trusting each other again. Vasily wanted to get in the middle of it all. If we let suspicion and bitterness divide us, he'll have won, even in death. Javier looks at each of us, his eyes finally landing on Diego. I'll take care of my own from here. I'll also be dissolving Diego's marriage to the Beta's daughter. He does not deserve a woman because he's still a boy, he says, and I can't help but catch the pain in Javier's eyes as he looks at his son. After this, they leave, but not before Javier had a final word with Elena. As we watch them drive away, my hand finds Roman's again, our fingers intertwining. I don't fucking trust him, Roman says with a dangerous lilt to his tone. Whatever bullshit Diego just spewed, I don't believe a word of it. He wanted power alongside Vasily, nothing will tell me differently. His thumb strokes the back of my hand, then he draws it to his lips. Nothing will happen to you after this, Ella, he says in a low growl. Over my dead fucking body will I allow anyone else to hurt you? I slip my arm around his back and breathe out a sigh, knowing that come what may, Roman would keep that promise.
Ella.
The hum of the private jet's engine seems to blend into the background, like white noise in a sea of my restless thoughts. Roman sits across from me, in a seat made of the finest leather money can buy, absorbed in some files on his tablet. The rich interior of the jet, with its ambient mood lighting and plush furnishings, contrasts sharply with the tension I feel in my bones. "Would you like another glass of wine, Luna?" The flight attendant offers, her voice polished as the silver tray she's holding. I shake my head. "No, thank you." As she retreats, Roman finally looks up, his stormy eyes meeting mine. "You're not usually this quiet," he observes. "Well," I say, biting the inside of my cheek, "you're not usually this secretive. Where are we going?" He grins, the corners of his eyes crinkling. "It's a surprise." "I'm not particularly fond of surprises," I retort, although a part of me thrills at the mystery. "You'll like this one," he promises. His eyes darken a shade, and I remember all the reasons I fell for him in the first place. "It's time we had our honeymoon, don't you think?" After the relentless pace of the last few months, the confrontations, the life and death decisions, the relentless stress, a honeymoon seems like a distant fantasy. "We could have just gone to Hawaii like normal people," I point out, crossing my arms over my chest. Roman laughs softly. "When have we ever been normal?" The flight attendant retreats after bringing a bottle of champagne on ice, and he looks up again, sensing my unspoken challenge. "You still haven't guessed where we're going?" "You know I hate guessing games," I reply, flicking through the in-flight entertainment options without really seeing them. "And you know I enjoy watching you squirm a little," he says with a mischievous smile. "I don't squirm," I retort, lifting an eyebrow. "I merely exhibit a moderate level of curiosity." "Ah, a moderate level of curiosity," he mimics my tone perfectly. "Is that what we're calling it now? Just tell me, are we going somewhere cold or hot? Can I expect to make snow angels or sand castles?" "That would give it away, wouldn't it?" Roman replies, tapping his finger against his lips in faux contemplation. "How about this? Pack for both, and be surprised." I packed a swimsuit and a parka, Roman. I even brought sunscreen and a wool scarf. I'm prepared for the Sahara Desert and the Arctic tundra. The suspense is killing me. He chuckles. "You always were a Girl Scout. And you were always a man of mystery. What's in the files you're so engrossed in, anyway? Plans for world domination?" Roman closes his tablet and sets it aside. "Something like that. But for the next 3 weeks, the only thing I'm interested in dominating is your attention, and maybe that gorgeous body of yours." I roll my eyes, but my heart flutters involuntarily and a shiver shoots up my spine. "So smooth." "I try," he winks. "How about a hint? We're going somewhere you've never been before." That narrows it down to, about 100 countries, 1,000 cities, and probably 1,000,000 islands. Roman leans closer, his voice dropping to a sultry whisper that sends shivers down my spine. "Who said anything about a city?" "You're incorrigible," I say, but I can't hide the smile that spreads across my face. "And you love it," he counters, leaning back in his seat with a satisfied grin. The truth is, I do. The banter, the mystery, the electric charge of excitement that courses through me whenever he's near, it's addictive. Roman opens the bottle of champagne, the cork popping with a jubilant fizz, and pours us each a glass. "To the unknown," he toasts, lifting his flute. "To us," I reply, my eyes locking onto his as our glasses clink. And for the first time in a long time, the unknown doesn't seem so scary. Not with him by my side. By the time the jet touches down, I'm a bundle of mixed emotions. Excitement wars with apprehension as I peek through the window blinds. What greets me is an endless expanse of crystalline waters, shades of blue and green blending as if painted by a heavenly brush. An island looms closer, a patch of paradise ringed by golden sands and lush, tropical greenery. The runway comes into view, a thin strip of land wedged between jungle and beach, so immaculate it looks like it was conjured up just for us. I shoot Roman a look, a mix of disbelief and astonishment. "We're landing there? On that tiny strip? Any landing you can walk away from is a good one, right? Roman chuckles, clutching my hand for emphasis. The plane touches down with hardly a bump, a testament to the skill of the pilot or the advanced technology of the jet, or likely both. "We're here," Roman announces, standing up as the plane taxis to a halt. The smile on his face is like that of a boy showing off his most treasured secret. "We're where?" I ask, but as I step off the plane, the humid air enveloping me like a warm embrace, it doesn't even matter. Roman extends his hand, and I take it without hesitation. The first thing that strikes me is the air. It's a rich blend of salty sea and fragrant flora. The second is the tranquility. Apart from the distant roar of the ocean and the occasional birdsong, there's a hush that settles over everything like a warm blanket. "Welcome to Alphanovel," he says softly, turning to me with a look of pure adoration. Or, as I like to call it, paradise found. "Alphanovel?" I repeat, letting the name roll off my tongue. "You have an island named after you?" "It's been in the family for years," he explains as he gestures toward a beachfront villa in the distance that looks too idyllic to be real. "But I've had it developed just for us. For the next 3 weeks, I want to keep you all to myself. This is the safest place I can think of." Roman looks at me, his eyes searching for my reaction. "Well, what do you think?" The weight of his words sinks in slowly, each syllable etched with an earnestness that disarms me. He's not just talking about physical safety, I realize, he's talking about emotional sanctuary, a place where the past can't reach us, where the future feels like a promise, not a threat. "Are we the only ones here?" I ask, incredulous. He grins, sweeping an arm across the panorama. "For the next 3 weeks, this island is all ours." "All ours?" "Roman, this is incredible." I stammer, looking around at what must be miles of untouched wilderness. "But why here? Why now?" "Because," Roman says, his voice softening. "After everything that's happened, I wanted to take you somewhere we could be absolutely alone. Somewhere you could paint, somewhere I could read, and somewhere we could both forget the world for a little while." I don't know what to say, I admit, my voice shaky. Roman stops and turns to face me, his eyes searching mine. "Do you trust me?" I look at him, really look at him, and see the man who's shown me the complex layers of love and fear, of strength and vulnerability. "With my life," I answer, without a shadow of a doubt. I look at the man standing before me, this incredibly complicated, maddeningly enigmatic, utterly wonderful man, and all I can do is hug him. He envelopes me in his arms, a safe harbor in the midst of this boundless sea. He steps closer, bridging the last inch of distance between us, and captures my lips in a kiss that tastes like forever. And as his arms wrap around me, as the sea whispers secrets to the shore, I let myself believe, in this moment, in this man, in this ridiculously perfect slice of paradise he's crafted just for us. "So," he says softly, his breath warm against my ear. "Does this meet your moderate level of curiosity?" "Moderate doesn't even begin to cover it," I reply, laughing. "This is straight out of a fairy tale. Or one of my novels." He raises an eyebrow. "Then let's make it a story worth telling." And as he says that, a sleek, open-top Jeep pulls up, driven by what appears to be a caretaker or guide. But Roman waves him off, indicating that he'll drive. Roman opens the passenger door for me with a theatrical flourish. "After you, my love." Rolling my eyes, but secretly delighted, I climb in. The vehicle roars to life, and we set off down a narrow, winding path framed by palm trees and vibrant hibiscus flowers. With the wind in my hair and the scent of the sea filling my lungs, it feels like an adventure and a sanctuary all rolled into one. We have the beach to the south, a forest full of hiking trails to the west, and to the north, Roman gestures grandly as we crest a small hill, revealing a pristine lake gleaming in the sunlight. Our own private paradise for whenever you want to take a swim. "Wow," I say softly, unable to find more eloquent words. But Roman seems to understand. It's our own slice of Eden, Ella. A place where, for a brief moment in time, we can be the only two people in the world. As we pull up to the stunning beachfront villa nestled amid lush greenery, I realize I don't have the words to express what this means to me. To us. I step out of the jeep, greeted by the melodic chorus of island birds and the rhythmic dance of the waves. I can't help but think that he's absolutely right. We cross the threshold of our villa, hand in hand, leaving footprints on the golden sand. This is our sanctuary, a world apart from everything that's tried to break us. And for the next 3 weeks, we have nothing but time to heal, to explore, to love. For the first time in forever, I feel truly, unapologetically free.
Roman.
The goddamn sound of waves lightly bitch-slapping the shore should be soothing. It's what people fantasize about, a secluded beach, the woman your bats hit in love with beside you, the freedom to do nothing at all. Ella looks like she's in fucking heaven, the sun on her skin, a gentle smile on her lips, a book lying forgotten on her lap. But me? I'm crawling out of my damn skin. And yet, I'm restless. Why the fuck can't I just relax? Ella senses it before I even realize it myself. She opens her eyes and looks at me, her gaze soft but probing.
You're thinking about something. Spill it.
I chuckle.
It's nothing, really. Just getting a bit antsy, I suppose. Roman, we're on vacation. You're allowed to relax, you know?
I nod, knowing she's right, but not feeling any less restless. I know. It's just not something I'm accustomed to, that's all. The ingrained habits of an alpha, the constant state of alertness and readiness, they don't just disappear overnight. They're a part of me, embedded into my very core.
We're on a vacation, babe. Try to chill,
she says, the corners of her mouth lifting in a light smirk. I nod, feeling like an ass because I know she's right. But sitting here, doing fuck all, it's not in my DNA. The alpha in me, the beast that's always sniffing for danger, craving action, just won't shut the hell up. I'm gonna take a quick spin. Get some wind in my hair, clear the cobwebs, I say, standing up. She laughs, bright and clear.
Go on, you rebel. I'll be here.
I get up, kiss her forehead, and walk towards our villa's garage. Walking to the garage feels like visiting an old friend you haven't seen in years. As the door creaks open, there she is, my Ducati Scrambler. Christ, she's beautiful, gleaming metal and coiled power. Makes me think of Ella, another beautiful thing I can never get enough of. Her grace, that sly smile that says she knows exactly what she's doing to me, it all rushes through my head as I fire up the Ducati. The engine roars, loud and feral, like an untamed beast. Just as I'm about to mount the bike, I feel her eyes on me. I glance back and see her standing there with this look, half curious, half daring. Fuck it. Wanna come? Her answer isn't verbal. She strides over, graceful as ever, and instead of sitting behind me, she takes the seat in front, facing me. It's unconventional, but then again, so is everything about us. I grip the handles, my arms framing her as I lean over the bike. She holds onto my forearms, her fingers lightly grazing my skin, sending a jolt of electricity through me. Hold on tight, I say, gripping the handles, my arms framing her sides. And we're off, tearing down the beach. Her laughter rings out, sharp and sweet, over the Ducati's growl. It's like music, the kind you never knew you needed, but now can't stop humming. We're flying, and I feel her body press close to mine each time I throttle up. It's like some electric current, shooting straight through me, setting my damn soul on fire. We hit a stretch where the sun's dipping low, painting the sky all sorts of crazy beautiful colors. I slow down, finally stopping where the surf's making soft, white lines on the sand. She turns to look at me, her eyes wide and filled with, what? Wonder? Love? Shit, I don't know. But whatever it is, it makes everything else fade away. All the noise, the endless fucking responsibility, it all goes quiet. I've been writing for years, little bird, and I've never felt anything like this. I say, my voice almost a whisper against the sound of the ocean. Maybe that's because you've never let yourself. She replies, her words a gut punch of truth I didn't know I needed to hear. For the first time, maybe ever, I get it. What I've been looking for isn't just the escape, the adrenaline. It's this crazy, beautiful, terrifying moment where I'm not the alpha, not the one in control. Just a man, wildly in love, holding onto a woman who's just as wild. She leans back, leading her head to fall back, and I can't help myself. The tiny shirt she's wearing rides up and I lift it more, running my tongue down her salty skin.